Ruinarch is one of those games that I've heard a lot about without knowing all that much. The one thing I did know was that in this game you take on the role of the evil character, so I was curious to see to what lengths the game would have us getting into mischief. Let's just say that evil is a bit of an understatement. You could pretty much call Ruinarch a villager torture simulator, but not in a gruesome way. Let's jump into the review. So assume the position of evil overlord and conspire to find ways to overthrow the pesky villagers who happen to inhabit the local surroundings. Ruinarch openly tells you that you can kill the villagers in more brutal, easy ways. But the real fun in the game is in the attention to detail. The fun of the kill, they might say. You can zap them, set their tables on fire, turn them into vampires, and even throw the terrifying monster pigs at them for a battle. Okay, that one might be less effective. The simple objective of the game is to eliminate all the villagers, although it can be more difficult than it seems. Ruinarch has your classic simulator game level of detail and tabs to explore. All the villagers have their own relationships, personality traits, and factions that you need to learn and interact with to fully manipulate the characters to your will. You can even share failed flirting attempts with other villagers to make them laugh or lower their reputations. Perhaps that part could be a real-world simulator. All of these elements lead Ruinarch to being a great game in which you will quickly lose track of how much time that you have been playing. I thought I had been playing for 20 or so minutes on my first attempt, and that quickly led to an hour or so of clicking and trying to set pretty much everything on fire. 3 different overlords have various ways in which they can manipulate and throw chaos upon the world. I found Lich to be the most difficult, and perhaps that's due to the early stage I am playing with Ruinarch. In my first playthrough, I got to the point where I was a bit giddy with power, throwing fire and electricity down upon the villagers with impunity, dropping them into spider caves. I did enjoy that strategy a little bit too much. And then the game hits you with the consequence. 4 archangel-like characters that decide they will come and serve you your vengeance, and they can quickly destroy your chances with taking over the world here. You do have the ability to defeat them, but their appearance and the risk levels that rise as you become overly zealous are a nice touch with the strategy in the game. My most recent experience with a simulator game of this style was with Academia School Simulator, which interestingly enough was also developed in the Philippines like Ruinarch. I think they're interesting games to compare, as despite being completely different in the gameplay and art design, they both have that ability to grab you in and keep you engaged for longer as you start to learn more about the AI, and feel like they're actually starting to develop some personality. One of the things I love about School Simulator is the way they are continually adding more content, and I feel like a similar progression of content for Ruinarch would be something that gives it a boost, as I do feel like, personally, I could move on from this game after a couple of playthroughs, and the more twisted and intriguing ways that are added that let you torture those villagers will make it more addictive, and the game will be continually interesting and fun as you play through. So the verdict. Ruinarch has some unique elements which make it interesting to play, and has that distinct art design and style which is common amongst the simulator style of games. The AI is well implemented, and they work effectively in ruining your attempts at killing them. They fix different things, and they explore the world to try and identify the elements of your base that you've built, and when they find it, you're in trouble because they will be sending more people to attack. There is a lot going on socially with the villagers. Parties being held, people helping each other, and seemingly a lot of flirting is happening. I really liked sharing the different intel to villagers, and seeing their reaction to your gossip and rumors is a really cool feature. Raising the dead and giving members the plague seemed a bit on the lackluster side for me, although ordering people to go and assault their friends as vampires against their wills was a pretty cool feature. The real fun in a game like Ruinarch for me is when you can see your decisions having a marked effect on the AI in the game, and I'm banking on there being some more spectacular ways to play with their minds and defeat them in the future. I can fully understand the need to balance difficulty with the game. However, I found it a bit underwhelming when I was breeding monsters and they would just get whacked to death by some warriors who would then promptly sweep them up and went about their business like they were never there. Saying that, it's important to note that Ruinarch is in early access mode, and to be honest, whilst I am critical of games going into early access void of content, Rogue Legacy 2 anyone, I can vouch for there being a great deal of gameplay to get through this one with the release. Updates along the way are just going to add that little bit extra. Ruinarch promises to give you a few shocks along the way, and the odd laugh or two as you spy into the worlds of these pesky villages. Fans of the simulator genre will be well served jumping in and giving this game a go.